All right, nice little draw down the right center. If you want to hit the driver straight, there's really just three things that you have to do. You got to swing the direction of the club straight, you got to deliver it with a nice square face, and you also have to hit it somewhere relatively in the center of the club head. You do those three things, you're going to be a great golfer. Well, the question is, well, Clay, I'd love to do that. If I could just do those three things, I probably wouldn't be here watching this video, I'd be out on the PGA Tour. Well, you'd be surprised if I can give you these special drills that I'm going to give you here, a couple real tricks. You'd be surprised how much headway you can make, how much straighter you can hit it in just one practice session. It's all about knowing what to do and how to read your ball flight, which I'm going to get into. So the first thing is the path. So if you're going to play a nice little draw like I did on that one, you're going to want to swing slightly to the right. And what that means is, as my club comes through contact, it's going to be coming from the inside, hitting the golf ball, and going to the outside this way. So from inside to out if you're looking at it from this direction. If you're going to play a fade, your club's going to be coming out here, swinging slightly across the ball. Now, here's a technique thing that I see all the time where people get dead wrong. They think if I want to swing more inside out, hit more of a draw, which most players are working on, they think, well, if I'm going to swing more this direction, I'll just take the club back in my takeaway more that direction, and that will help. It actually hurts. What will happen is if you take it more inside, you're going to tend to come over the top. What you want to do is feel like you come a little bit more outside, have the club go up, and then it's easier to shallow it out and hit from the inside in the downswing. Now, that's a good tip, but you need feedback if you're really going to make some headway with this. Now, I like to use a little device called the Speed Trap from Eyeline Golf. They make some great products. I like this one because it's a plexiglass board. You can also put your golf ball in here, and it trains you to hit the ball first and then the ground, so get that divot in front of the golf ball. One of the best devices to give you feedback for that. But you can set this up to kind of guarantee that you're going to hit a draw. So I set this up here, I put a golf ball on it, and now if I was going to swing more over the top, I'm going to feel like I'm hitting these red things here, and it's going to be a mess. But you can see that there's a big gap to come more from the inside, and it really just makes it much, much easier to get a feel for what you need to do to swing from the inside. And again, it's all about coming through the ball that it matters. The takeaway doesn't make much difference on this. Let's go ahead and hit a nice little draw here again. There we go, and that ball started to the right, drew back to the left. I think that was a misread. Sometimes when I'm indoors here hitting driver, the ball is going so fast into the screen, it misreads it a little bit. Felt like a pretty good shot. Didn't seem like a big hook like that to me. Also hit it on the sweet spot, which we'll get here in a minute. Now, if you want one of these, I have a link down below in the description. I get a few bucks, helps to grow the channel and keep me making these videos. But if you don't want to buy one of these, that's totally fine. You can use something else. Just use a head cover or anything else that you can set up. Maybe you have a couple styrofoam cups laying around, or maybe the pro shop has some. But you can just set up those same kind of gates in this same fashion to where now it's making you swing inside out and giving you that visible feedback. And you'd be surprised how much that can shift the results that you get in a single time. Now, I like the Speed Trap because you can use it for a ton of things and you can throw it in your bag. It's just easier than having to get styrofoam cups or mess around with a bunch of stuff. But again, no worries. Whatever you can find that'll work will be completely fine. It'll get you results. Now, piece number two is I have to hit it relatively on the sweet spot. Now, I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Clay, if I could hit the sweet spot, again, I'd already just be doing it. But you'll actually be surprised when you use some foot spray powder. So this is Dr. Scholl's Odor X. This is a good one because it leaves a pretty white film, a pretty bright white film that you can actually see when you spray it on the club face. And as soon as I hit a golf ball, you'll be able to tell exactly where I hit it at. Now, what you're going to find is if you hit about 4 or 5 balls, everybody has a pattern. I hardly ever, I'll say I virtually, maybe a few times, unless you're a beginning player, which if you're watching this video, you're probably not, probably an intermediate or advanced player. But I never find anybody that hits it low and then high and then off the toe and off the heel and just all over the face. You'll find some kind of a pattern. And once you know your pattern, you identify it, there's some really easy drills that you can do to fix that pattern. So you're trying to hit it toward the sweet spot or toward the center of the face. If you're going to hit a draw, a little bit more toward the toe helps, that helps it to draw. If you're playing a fade, a little more toward the heel helps, that helps it to fade. So let's go ahead and try to hit that draw again and see how I do as far as hitting on the sweet spot here. That felt pretty solid to me. Again, I don't know why it's reading it drawing that much. Felt like a pretty daggone good swing. And we'll see here when I look at the sweet spot, it's pretty much dead on the sweet spot, just a fraction toward the toe, which would be great for getting a nice little draw there. But if you find yourself hitting it toward the toe or hitting it toward the heel, again, you can use this speed trap or some head covers to adjust for that. So let's say that I'm hitting it too far off the toe and I want to get one off the heel. I put both these on the inside here now. And now when I set up to this golf ball, what's going to subconsciously happen is if I go more toward the toe of the club, so I pull the club in toward me, all of a sudden the shaft of my club is going to knock into these red things. Subconsciously, I'm going to realize I don't want to do that, and I'm naturally going to go more toward the heel. Same thing if I'm going too much toward the heel, I just flip them over on the other side, and now I'm subconsciously going to hit more toward the toe to miss those red things. And you'll be surprised, even players that struggle to break 100, you put a device down like this, and immediately they start giving some feedback. So if you get a low to mid handicap player, the feedback is going to be great with something like this. Again, if you don't have this, use a box. You can put anything like a box, a head cover, a styrofoam cup. Any of that's going to be completely fine. So find your pattern first. Once you identify toe or heel, then you can adjust by putting the barriers down. If you're hitting low on the face, the first thing that you want to do is tee the ball up higher. A lot of times, people are just teeing it up too daggone low and they can't get the ball to contact high enough on the face. If you are teeing it up higher and still having trouble with that, most likely what's happening is you're falling back a little bit and you're not being able to reach the ball, hitting it off the bottom of the face. Make sure that you get your weight to your front foot. Feel like your weight is on the left side and on your left foot as you make contact. And sure enough, most of the time, that's going to help a ton. You may even feel like you're hitting down on the ball a little bit to get it higher on the face. In reality, you're probably not actually hitting down on it. That's just a sensation that you're going to have. If you're hitting it too high on the face, either tee it a little bit lower, or you could be hitting down too much. Just go ahead and do the opposite of what I just recommended. Again, this isn't rocket science, but it works. You do this for a single session, you're going to hit the ball better, it's going to be straighter, you're going to really enjoy hitting your driver. Now lastly, we have to square up that face. So on here, on all three of those shots, my path was to the right. My face angle has to be to the left of that or pretty daggone straight to get that to draw. Now, most people are having a tough time getting the ball to draw like I've been doing here. And a lot of times I'll see players' grips are just wrong. So a lot of times players will set up with a grip that looks something like this, and I'll tell you, I feel like it's going to be pretty daggone tough for me to hit a draw from this position, specifically with the left hand. I want to feel like the left hand goes more on top of the grip, and that V in your fingers points more to your right shoulder if you're struggling to hit a draw. Now from there, once you get this hand in this nice position, similar to what Dustin Johnson or Sergio Garcia uses for their grip, now you're going to be much more likely to hit a draw. I'm also going to do the same thing with the right hand. I'm going to turn it a little bit more under the club, and that just makes it slightly easier. Now, the surefire way here is when I release it, I want to have this club face closing on down. So I don't want to have the face open like this. That's a big old slice, meaning that the face is pointing this way. I'm going to rotate the face until it's turning down. If you're wondering if you're doing it enough, if you're still hitting a fade or a straight shot, you need to do a little bit more. You can't overdo this. You'll be surprised how much a pro player's face turns down just after impact. Sometimes it looks even something like that, whereas I see a lot of recreational players with a club like this. So going ahead and releasing that club makes a world of difference. Now, there is one more piece that you have to get right. Now, most players have been told that they're going to square that face, and if you struggle with this drill, this is most likely what you're doing. You're told to roll the forearms over each other to square the face. Now, when that happens, you end up standing up out of your posture, you end up flipping the club, you end up doing all these things that we don't want to have. And it's not until you learn to release the club like the pros, which is what I call the anti-roll method, that you can finally get the ultimate consistency and get that club face to close and hit that nice power draw time after time after time. I'm going to play a preview of the anti-roll method video here in just 1 second. All you need to do is go ahead and click the card that pops up on your screen, or if you don't see one of those cards, don't worry, just go down to the description below, click the link there, and you can get instant access to the anti-roll video. I can't wait to share with you some of the secrets of this because I know it's going to help you a ton to play your best golf. Let's go ahead and get started. So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. Causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strike. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this, there's really only two pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,